Hello friends, how is everyone today? We're going to be talking about the current developments on my NVIDIA and the SP500 index predictions. It's been quite interesting day. The day is the 7th of October. This prediction is entirely accurate, 100% so far. The only real surprise is kind of today, especially for NVIDIA. Really didn't expect this kind of volatility upwards. I was expecting this for tomorrow, which is the 8th of October. That's why it's shared by two opposite circles of two opposite energies. We have a red and a green one. Now that means that possibly tomorrow is going to be a very volatile day. And the correction could still happen, guys. This is not an error until we get till tomorrow and check if there's a correction. If there's not a correction, then we can mark this as the first circle, which really is not coming to pass as I predicted in this right here. But it could be a very volatile day. Just like today, like I was saying, I didn't expect this volatility for Monday. It was very surprising for NVIDIA. It's just a signal that it keeps going up, and NVIDIA is very, like I was saying, guys, and like I always will say, NVIDIA is the most important stock. In my opinion, it was the largest. It will soon be the largest yet again, and definitely is one of the most important, most critical, especially the most popular stock out of all of the Magnificent 7 stocks. NVIDIA is like the king. And we'll also be showing you the SP500 index chart. But before I go to that, let's just check what the next days and the next week could actually go. So again, like I was saying, the 8th of October tomorrow is going to be a very volatile day, I think. One of these two could happen. There's still a chance of correction, but if we get an uptrend, that will be very good, because we will be talking about now consecutive greens and possibly even more, because the next circle is an alternative day. We have 9 or 10. So again, impulses by could be one of these 2 days or even both of them. That will be actually unheard of, and that will be actually very rare, very surprising to have, let's say, 4 consecutive greens, something like that. That will be incredible. The odds are really not that stacked in that favor. I think we're going to see a correction either tomorrow or one of these days. It could happen also on the 10th of October, because that day is also part of this red circle. That day is actually going to be very volatile as well. It could be a disappointment in the sense that we get a range, but the record, the pattern shows that whenever this happens, we mostly get just extremely volatile days. So these days could actually be very good for scalping, especially. We could finish the week on a red note. It could be a correction by that day, the 11th. That will be Friday. So depends on what happens on the next like 2-3 days. We could see a green week, an impulsive week, or we could see more like a relaxed week. Now, before I begin with the SP500, I just want to invite you all to subscribe, share, and like. And comment what you think of these, guys. Interact with this video. That's what I want. Okay, so you can see that the SP500 index chart prediction is very similar to NVIDIA. The circles are very similar. There are some key differences. We'll be talking about them. For example, the first days of the prediction were like almost identical to NVIDIA. We had this uptrend on the 2nd of October. That also was present on NVIDIA chart. Now for the SP500, both the 3rd and the 4th of October were yellow days. So you can see that the 3rd is actually a completely perfect yellow day. The price ends on a very similar position where it opens. And on the 4th we get yellow day as well, but slightly lower. the price kind of ends lower than it opened. Kind of a correction, you could say, but it's still very yellowish because you can see that the price recovers, and where it recovers, it's a little bit lower than the position. Now the next day, which is today, for the SP500, we had this yellow day on the 7th and also a red circle. So when we mix a yellow and a green, or a yellow and a red, what that means is usually extremely volatile day, or could also be a mix of range or volatility, trending wherever the other circle is. So for example, if it's green, it's going to be trending slightly upwards. If it's red, it's going to be trending slightly downwards. So that's what we got for today. For the SP500, what was a clear, very powerful and decisive correction. Volatile, especially in the last hours of the day, but in the beginning was kind of behaving like a range. That's what we got for the SP500. Remember, this is not a stock. The index is not a stock. It's just an indicator, but it's very actual and very useful to kind of measure how the markets are doing in a kind of combined way. So instead of just ranking NVIDIA, which is one of the most important one, even if it's very large, it's obviously not as large as the entire market, not nearly as half or whatever. So that's why we can see some differences in the NVIDIA behavior and with the SP500 behavior. They both are very similar, but at the same time are also very different. So for the index, we could expect maybe a recovery tomorrow on the 8th. That is also present on Bitcoin. So I mean on the NVIDIA chart. So that could mean that the 8th of October is possibly going to be very impulsive. There's a high possibility because both these charts share that day as a green day. And the other thing is that both of those charts share the 10th of October as a red day. So these days, especially the 10th of October, are days that we need to watch out for, because they could bring some powerful corrections to those powerful potential impulses the days before. Finally, the index is going to end the week on a yellow. So NVIDIA ends on a red, and the index is probably going to have a more relaxed Friday, probably more balanced Friday, kind of a range, kind of volatility, or very similar to, for example, the 3rd of October right here, where the price closes on basically an identical position of its opening. That is my prediction for the next week, for this week actually, for Friday. So yeah, guys, we'll keep updating this as we go by, and I'll see you guys later. Again, I want to remind you to subscribe, share, and like, all of that juicy stuff. And until then, take care.